I wonder if today we get to kill a motherfucker. I want to see if we can kill a motherfucker. He certainly deserves it, don't he? Leon and the others asked me to go help prepare for the festival, but I said no. Of course I'd say no. How could I forget about the situation so easily and just go help prepare for the festival? The nerve, man. The first thing I'm going to do when I get home, I'm just going to take a shower. Not that I literally want to take a shower, I just want to cool down and pull myself together. As I already know, it's easy to kill a guy if that's all I'm gonna do. But it's not all that I need to do. I need to find a way to kill him without getting caught, bringing back the peaceful ordinary days we used to have. It won't be that easy. Japanese police have the world's highest arrest rate. So what am I gonna do to deceive him and commit a perfect crime? It's not gonna be easy. But the rate is not 100%. Even though their highest arrest rate, it isn't 100%. There are some articles about false imprisonments. It's about a court reversing a verdict, but it's not about finding who would be the real culprit. I guess perfect crimes do exist after all. Not only that, perfect crimes are like a kind of art. Not wrong to say that some people even admire art. I should take a look at crime novels from all over the world. Many stories about puzzling cases, like locker room murders, unbreakable alibis, but the writers all have the same one goal, the beauty of a perfect crime. A kind of divinity dwells in true perfection. Yep, perfect crimes can only be committed by God. When I think that way, I agree that the serious and mysterious deaths, whichever one calls the curse of Hiroshima, must be the work of God. Each of the deaths was solved separately, but nobody can stop it from happening every year. It's a perfect crime that only God can create. And I'm going to commit a crime as if it's the 5th death in a series of perfect crimes that Hiroshima has committed for the past 4 consecutive years. I'll call it a challenge to him. I'll need extra courage to carry it out, but I'll also need to keep my cool. Need to be cooler than an ice cube to plan the crime. I'll kill him with a passion as hot as fire. Yeah, fire. But I'll carry that crime out exactly the way I plan, while keeping myself cool. I have to keep these two things in mind. Not a bad idea to study some crime novels. I've read about a new tactic of kidnapping that once created a sensational headline in the news, turning out to be just a copy of a novel. Crime writers take a long time creating artistic crimes. Copying them is a shortcut to planning a perfect crime in a short amount of time. But the problem is I haven't really read many. But my mom? Oh, she loves them. Reads all kinds of them, from famous writers all over the world. And she also makes harsh comments every time she watches crime dramas on TV, saying that tricks are too cheap, too easy. I want to ask her what a perfect crime would be in her opinion. You want to know about the most perfect crime I've ever read in a novel? You read many crime novels, right? I thought you were an expert on those things. It's fun to know the trick of a perfect crime only when you read through. You shouldn't know the trick before you read it, or it won't be fun. I'm not asking for entertainment. She's not giving in, so I joy along with her to get something out of her. My recommendation will be And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Of course, The Wild Trick in the Orient Express was great. Completely overwhelmed by the unexpected ending. I wish I would know the title. I just need the perfect trick. If you look for a true perfect crime, not even a world-famous detective like the ones in the books can solve it. I just needed to know. They're fun to read because you enjoy the process of solving the mystery. If the trick can't be solved in the end, it's not a good subject. You're right. If it can't solve it, it won't be a story. Again, I didn't think through. Crime novels are game novels, after all. Written to be solved. but I need to know a trick that won't be solved. Had to be absolutely perfect, that could bring us back the old happy days we used to have. Kei, do you understand when I say you can't make a story out of a real perfect crime? My mom smiles mischievously. I never read it before, but she once wrote a crime novel and contributed to a crime novel contest. I guess she really likes this kind of topic. She seems to be very excited. What do you mean I can't make a story? What's the most important elements a story has to have? An introduction, a development, a turn, and a conclusion. Right. The most important of all is the introduction. If you don't have the introduction at the start of the story, nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens and nothing continues. If nothing happens, no case to solve. No one calls for a detective, so it means no deduction. No deduction, no solutions. The absolute perfect crime. Wait a second. What? My mom told me something critical. So casually, I just let it pass. But she said something very important. It's not so difficult to understand. As nobody finds the incident of the murder, that's the perfect crime. So it's a case that nobody finds out to begin with. For example, there was an old man living alone deep in the forest and nobody came. One day he was killed with an axe. The killer was, how about we put his son? His son visited him, they drank alcohol, but they started to fight and he killed his father. Cheap crime, impulsive, indeliberate, far from perfect. But he lived in a house, alone, deep in the forest, very deep in the forest that nobody visited. His son went back to his town and told everybody that his father was just fine. So how would that be perfect? Kei, it will only have an introduction if the old man was found dead. If nobody visited him afterwards, the story's introduction will never begin. So the introduction will never begin. That means no story will begin. If no dead body is found, nobody calls for a cop. Because no one gets suspicious, no mystery. Everyone thinks the old man still lives alone peacefully deep in the forest. Thus, the face of the old man shows up in the sky. And at the end. That's great. A legitimate trick. But it can't be an entertainment novel. Crime novels are entertainment. They can never be the instructions for perfect crimes. I pretend to look like I'm having fun with her in order to hide my real intention. But I'm actually excited. I know now there is a need for a special tool, an abnormal lay of the land, a mysterious drug, or a big trick to create a perfect crime. The important thing is to have no introduction. I just need to make sure that nobody finds out about it. In plain words, I just kill him without being seen by anybody, getting rid of his body without being seen by anybody. All I need to do to make it perfect. When a person disappears one day, all of a sudden, they usually get suspicious. But this guy's an exception. He once ran away from the village because he got scared of the curse of Orchestra after his wife died. People think he got scared and ran away again because it was the night of the festival. He once abandoned his house and lived with his lover. Nobody gets suspicious when he just disappeared one day. Nobody really liked him anyway. So nobody would really care about where he went, even if he disappeared. Now that I come to think about it, I find it so easy. No need to think it in a house. Soon I run out of the house and get my bicycle from the garage. Where am I going to? I wouldn't care. I just need to ride my bike, get some fresh air to cool down the excitement. The place to kill him. How? When? And how to get rid of the body. These 4 things I need to think about. Surprised at the small number of things that needed to be decided. It gave me the chills. I thought I needed to take a huge amount of time in order to plan one big trick. But all I need to do now is to organize a few things and I carry it out. Today is Saturday. There's 24 hours before I have to kill him. If I'm going to take over the curse of the Orchestra and kill him on the night of the festival. I just need you to be patient, Satoko, for another 24 hours. Can't even imagine what other hardships you might have than the one you have right now. But I need you to be patient just a little bit longer. I know you can't do this any longer, but just be patient. Your needy will save you for sure. The cicadas are still crying. It's afternoon. Lots of time until the sun goes down. I look at the sky. There's many clouds. The weather report on TV before I left the house said that we might have rain on Sunday. The sky is gray. If there's a rumble of thunder, it could start raining anytime soon. At first I went to school. Before I explain the reason why I'm going to my school now, let me tell you that I decided how to kill a guy, and I need to explain that. The only suitable death that I decided to give to him is the same way his wife died last year, beaten to death. Now, you may think beating him to death is a little chancy, more it's certain to stab him with a knife or something, but this is a choice I made after giving it a lot of thought overnight. I mean, think about it realistically. It's forbidden by the Sword and Firearms Control to carry a knife that's longer than 15 centimeters. The longest I can ever get will be only 15 centimeters or less. You understand how short a reach that is when you're about to attack someone who is ready to strike back. So it's better to have some kind of a bar-shaped weapon with a long reach. It might be less effective, but as long as I keep beating him until he's dead, I'll just kill him in the end. So what will be the weapon? Shape of a bar? Lethal power? Easy to carry around? Now, you should get the idea and think, a metal baseball bat. I don't think I need to explain how terrifying a metal baseball bat can be as a weapon. I mean, have you seen it in media? And it blends well into daily life. No one will feel suspicious if I carried it around. Unless you're a paranoid agent. These two elements are enough reasons to choose a metal bat for the weapon, but there's actually one more reason why I choose one particular one. Give me a moment, though. There's still some classmates in the schoolyard, even though it's Saturday afternoon. No one's going to feel suspicious when I come to school because I'm always late at school on Saturday afternoon. I can't ignore the fact that I can get a weapon without people feeling suspicious. If I bought a metal bat at a sports store and I don't play baseball, someone could feel suspicious about it. To prevent the introduction from the beginning, I need to pay extra attention as to get to the weapon. That's why I chose the school. I could get the weapon at a location where nobody feels suspicious of my presence. Looking inside a classroom from the window. No one's there. The only time someone stays in the classroom is when clubmates do club activities. When we don't, the classroom is an empty room. I get to the entrance while looking around as if I came here just to get what I had left at my desk. Looks like the teacher's doing some paperwork in the office. No one's in the hallway. I casually and quickly get to the classroom. The empty classroom is a little different, a bit weird. It's empty. Because no one is here, the dust might be moving around, licking the stains of the floor. What's going to happen if I step in while they're doing it? Are they going to feel like they'd be caught and jump to me to eat my bones and all? It's ridiculous. I felt annoying that I wasted my precious time thinking of crazy thoughts. Of course. These are lockers for each student in the back of the classroom. The locker I'm going to open wasn't mine. It was a forbidden locker that I happened to find one day. Hojo, there it is. Each student had a locker, but Satoko had two. I once made a big deal about it, and later on a friend of mine told me it was Satoshi's locker. Even though it's a locker that nobody uses, it's rude to open and look inside. But I was very curious, and I've opened it once before. Nothing special inside, just ordinary stuff. I totally forgot about what was inside until now. But now that my mind is clear like never before, I remember that it was in the locker. There you are. Smells sweaty and moldy, like a dirty gymnasium storeroom. I frown at the older, trying to find it. There you are. Satoshi was in the boys' baseball team, as managed by Erie. Inside of his locker, I find his Hinamizawa fighter's uniform. And that specific metal bat. A metal bat. One that Satoshi used to use. This is the reason why I wanted to choose this particular bat. I didn't want to carry the crime, but it was supposed to be Satoshi's role, not mine. Well, I'm taking this role because I'm Satoko's meaning now. There's only one rule in order to take over his role. So, there's the metal bat. A little bit light, but has enough gravity on the end of the bat. Should be lethal enough if I swing it down with all I have. I'm going to give you the last chance to save your sister. Just give me a bit of help. I'm going to do it for you, because you seem to be so cowardice. If you have even a little love left for your sister, how about you give me that little bit of help? There's no better weapon than your bat to kill a fucking asshole. I better hide it somewhere in the schoolyard. Gonna come to school to get it tomorrow, right before I go to his house. Because I can't ignore the possibility that someone might feel suspicious carrying a bat on my way home. So the school is the best place to hide it. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and it'll be the day of the biggest festival of the village. Nobody's gonna be coming to the school. So, school building. Heavy construction equipment lay near the entrance. Students of the school don't even get close to the construction equipment because our teachers always tell us not to touch it and not to play with it. Nobody goes near it because we know how bad we'll be scolded. I hide it behind the construction equipment. The possibility of someone moving the heavy construction equipment is close to zero, because tomorrow is Sunday. They don't work on Sundays. And I heard that the construction equipment hasn't been moved in years. If it hasn't been moved in years, probably not that easy to move. It should be the perfect place to hide it. Sunshine is very strong. I feel as if it's stinging my skin. My head gets a little fuzzy. Wonder if the sunshine got so strong all of a sudden. I mean, they can lose their sharpness when their head gets fuzzy. I nod my head twice and carefully look around. Good. Now the next problem is how to get rid of the body. So how should I get rid of the corpse? The absolute way of not letting the introduction begin is to make sure that nobody finds the body. It's more important than killing. The first thing I came up with is a swamp. Onikafuchi Swamp is a part of the legend, known as a bottomless swamp, still admired by the villagers. At first there was the swamp called Onikafuchi, and the village took the name of the swamp and became Onikafuchi Village. So the swamp is the origin of the village. According to the legend, this is a bottomless swamp. Once you drown, your body will never come up, and you'll go down to the abyss of the demon. If I'm going to copy the curse, I think it's the best place to dump the body and the weapon. But I don't know if this bottomless swamp is really bottomless. If a person dies, the body gets rotted and generates a huge amount of gas, and is strong enough to float the body up. I've heard that some ways don't even work to keep a dead body down in the water. I remember Rika's mother, the victim of the curse, drowned herself in a swamp 2 years ago. And the murderer of the dismemberment case, the very first curse of all, went missing. But the rumor was he actually drowned by accident while he was trying to dump the dead body in the swamp. I've heard that their bodies never came up or were found. If it was true, I probably should choose this place to dump it. But I'll definitely dump the weapon into the swamp. If I'm going to attack him when he goes out somewhere by bike, I'll dump his bike there too. I know he usually uses his bike when he goes out, except when he's too lazy and he makes Satoko do it. But I'm not so sure about the dead body. I decided not to choose the swamp to dump him. Suicide and drowning are just rumors. No one actually saw them drowning in the swamp. There's also a rumor that the suicide was probably fake. It's possible that the killer didn't drown and still lives somewhere else. So nobody can know if it's true, or not that a dead body would come up in the swamp. So, what to do? At first I thought that it would be funny to follow the first murder case and dismember the body, but it'll be a little difficult for me to do it when I consider the time, effort, and preparation to dismember a body. So there's one method after another, so I ended up concluding that I should just simply bury him. But where am I going to bury him? That depends on where he's going to be killed. It's better that I spend as little time with the dead body as possible, so it's better that I dig a hole in advance, and it's also better that the place I kill him and the place I bury are close together. I have to be extra careful to choose the place. It has to be a place where I can attack him without being seen by anybody, where I can also dig a hole near here to bury his body. I cover all the possible places he could go to. When I picture the map around his house, I find a perfect place. There's a back road that runs through the woods. As long as he doesn't think about going deep into the mountains out on a whim, he has to take this back road to go almost anywhere. And the only other people who use the road other than Satoko and her uncle are the few neighbors around the house. A road is his ideal place because only few use it. I'm going to hide in the woods, wait for him to come. Is it really possible to do that? I actually go into the woods and try several places to hide. It's very quiet here. I get sharpened senses to hear a slight sound of movement. No idea where he's going to show up, but I'm going to have to wait for him here. To tell the truth, I have a little concern about this, whether I should somehow lure him out here. but there's a risk that I might leave some kind of evidence by doing so. He usually makes Satoko do shopping and other chores around the house. Rarely goes out himself. If I don't have a plan to lure him out, he might not come at all. That's the major concern. We will have the festival tomorrow. I wonder if he's going to go there or not. If he doesn't, how am I going to lure him? I have one more concern. Is he going to let Satoko go to the festival? Say she leaves the house to go to the festival, and I make a phone call while she's out. Okinomi Police Station, we have your daughter, so please come pick her up as soon as possible. Doesn't have to be police. It's a hospital. Your daughter has an energy. Pick her up. If I make a phone call pretending it's from the police or a hospital, told him to come pick her up and hung up on him, I think he'll buy it. Plus, he just got a visit from the social worker the other day. He can't ignore a phone call and decide not to go get her because it'll be child neglect. And Satoko is an important existence to him because he can't do anything by himself. He needs his slave. Man, I encountered another error. And he needs a slave to do things around the house. So, if he goes to the festival, I'll attack him on the way to the festival, or maybe on his way home. If he doesn't go to the festival, I'll make a phone call and lure him out. But in order to make the phone call, I need to make sure Satoko goes to the festival. I'll ask Mion to take her. She told me before that her aunt was the local welfare commissioner, which means her aunt is friends with the social workers. If I force Mion to take Satoko to the festival, she'll probably use her aunt or connections to get Satoko somehow. She should enjoy the festival for her friends for a change. She'll have a blast and probably long for the peaceful days she used to have. And by the time she goes home, all of her nightmares will be gone. Maybe it's better that way. Now that I've come to my decision, next up is digging a hole to bury the dead body somewhere. It has to be a place that's unnoticeable. A place where I won't be seen by anybody, while defenselessly bury the dead body. It's gotta be a place close to a crime scene, but unintentionally I go further into the woods. I'm deep in dark woods. Only the cry of the cicadas echoes the woods, telling me it isn't a place where humans should come lightly. I have to dig a hole. Excuse me. It's harder than I imagined to find a place to dig a hole because the plants grow thick around here. And there's an intense web of roots. I can't do anything with a gardening spade that I brought from home. After looking around, I finally found a good spot where I might be able to dig a hole. Tomorrow, I'll bring a shovel from my garage. I should be able to dig a decent hole with a shovel. How big should it be to bury a human body? It's got to be pretty deep. Can't be sloppy work or the introduction might rise. I can't let that happen, so I'll spend as much time as I possibly can to dig a perfect hole. I can't spare myself when it comes to making a person disappear completely. My watch says it's a little past 6. Nothing more I can do here today. I like to finish digging a hole by tonight even though it gets dark, but my mom won't let me go out that late easily. I don't want my parents to feel suspicious. I'll just go home for now and call Mion. Make Mion call Satoko tonight, make sure they go to the festival. All I can do for today. Is it really though? All I can do to prepare for now? I've decided on a place to kill him, how to get rid of the body, but I can't think of a time to kill him, but it really depends. I can't set it. Is that all gonna work? Yes, am I missing anything? Is it going to work exactly the way you planned? It's too late, but I started feeling anxious. It's natural, though. It's gonna be the first and last big job of my life. I can't fail, but it'll be my first time and I don't have any experience. No know-how. It's natural that I feel anxious. The dark clouds look as if they're suggesting me that it's best not to do anything. But I haven't forgotten how pitiful Satoko looked today. On the surface I might look confident and strong determination, but the heart is shaking. I never even want to fight. Can I really murder a person? I'm gonna catch him off guard, but he'll be a lot bigger and older than I am. He looks scary. Seems he looks good at scuffles. I might be well prepared to process, but I might not be sure about the most important part of all, the slave. All the preparation will be in vain if I don't succeed in murdering him. You're such a coward. I know you're trying to make me reconsider about this. I should go home, so I can calm down. It'll be a milestone in my life, not like normal events like graduation, employment, marriage, childbirth. Birth is the day I kill a person for another. From tomorrow on, we'll get them back. The old and peaceful, cheerful days that I thought we would never end. I pedal my bike hard home. Legs feel strange. It's like my body and mind aren't really working together. There's a small gap between the physical end and the end that I think is the end of my mind. Vision's a bit blurry and narrow. It's gonna be a big event that I'm gonna gamble my life on, but somehow it feels like it's someone else's problem. A feeling of unreality. I don't know how to say it, but everything looked distant. It's okay, you can indulge on your anxiety. If you will get extremely cautious by doing so, indulge your anxiety as much as you want. It's important to feel that way in order to be more cautious. I ended up having this sensation all night. It's my first time calling Neon. I looked for a number in the contact list the school gave me and dialed the number. It's dinner time. She should be at home. But nobody answered for a while. Then, finally, someone answers. Hello? Sorry to call you so late. Is that you, Neon? Who is this? It's Keiichi. Oh, Kei-chan, what's up? It's late. She sounded a little bit hyper, probably drunk. Must be having a party at the festival eve party or something. She must be drunk. Sorry to call you, but I just need to talk. What is it? It's about Satoko. I can hear her gasp. I feel very bad for Satoko. I hope she's alright. She got sober quickly. How could she be alright? You saw her today, didn't you? She's been abused both mentally and physically. But we've done nothing but abandon her in her time of need. We didn't mean to abandon her. We really want to help her. We've been thinking hard about what we could do. But we didn't come up with any ideas, and we couldn't save her. We couldn't do anything. She got hurt badly. Yeah, you could say we just watched her get hurt. So at least, for one night, I want her to have a good time. What do you mean? No, she had a breakdown today, so I want you to take her to the festival tomorrow. That's fine, but why? Why? I just thought it'd be nice for her to have a break. Even for one night, she could get away from her mean uncle, so she can have some fun. Why? What do you mean, why? Why, you know, why don't you take her to the festival? Why do you have to ask me? She's being persistent, or she's being very sharp. I have something to do tomorrow, so I can't go. That's why I'm asking you. What's this thing you gotta do? Nothing. I can finish it soon, but I might not be able to meet you there. Neon, can you please take care of Satoko just for tomorrow night? She's acting weird. Must be tense. No. What? Did I just hear her stop? Neon, are you crying? I told you I don't want to do it. Don't push this responsibility on me. I'm not trying to push anything on you. It's just for tomorrow night. Liar. What? What are you talking about? You told me only for the night of the festival, but it wasn't. You liar. But I guess we're even, because I haven't kept my promise to you either. I've done nothing for her yet. I can't even nod. She's apparently talking to someone else, not me. I don't know who it is. I'm just stunned, but I done nothing but listen. You haven't come back since then. You just call me because you want to ask me a favor about her again. It's unfair. It's you, Satoshi-kun, isn't it? Mion, what are you talking about? By calling her name, Mion comes to her senses. Oh, sorry. Forget about it. It's just I had a very similar phone call in the past. Satoshi? She doesn't answer. I can hear her sobbing. I'm sorry, I guess I'm a little drunk. I get emotional. I bet you're stunned. I don't know what exactly happened, but probably on the same day last year, Satoshi called Mion, asking her to take Satoko to the festival. Mion asked why he couldn't take her, and he probably answered the same way I did. Satoshi didn't go to the festival, did he? No, he told me he couldn't go because he had something to do, so he asked me to take her to the festival. And he told you to take care of Satoko like I did? He did. Just for that night. It sounded just like him, so it reminded me of the phone call and I got emotional. It's surprising. Satoshi made a phone call on the same day a year ago, asking Mion the same thing I just asked her, and Mion said something else. He lied. That he asked her to take care of Satoko for one night. I remember. Satoshi disappeared a few days after that night. It sounded vague when I say he disappeared. He might have ran away from home, but he left Satoko and disappeared. He didn't transfer school, he didn't run away from home, he disappeared. At the time, something flashed into my mind. Last year, Satoshi called me on asking her the same thing I did. Why? If his intention was the same as mine, the murderer who beat her aunt to death last year would... Oh, wait. Can't be. It's Satoshi. Well, what do you mean? Last year, Satoko was abused by her uncle and aunt, and he used to curse the boy Shiro to get rid of her aunt, who bullied her the most. If my guess is right, it makes sense. Last year, Satoko's aunt was beaten to death, right? Satoshi may be the one who did it. Wait a second, but he can't be the one. Satoshi is a coward who left Satoko and ran away. He couldn't make such a big decision and kill her aunt to save Satoko. I actually thought about it too. I feel bad for Satoshi, but I did. A few days later, he disappeared on Satoko's birthday. At first I was mad because I thought it was very crude of him to run away on her birthday. But now it becomes a whole different story. He was probably not as calm as I am now. He saw his sister being abused every day in front of his eyes, and he probably couldn't stand it. And her aunt's dead body was found that night. He didn't hide the body because he lost control of himself in his anger, and he let the introduction begin. Once the police started the investigation, he didn't have much time before the police got to him. He longed for peaceful days and took things into his own hands, but then he was gradually driven to a corner. He tried to stay, at least until Satoko's birthday, but he knew the police were right at his heels. So he had his money with him because he was going to buy Satoko a big teddy bear for her birthday present. He was forced to make a choice to either buy the teddy bear and get caught, or use the money to run away, and he chose not to make Satoko the sister of a murderer. If that's true, I can only imagine how painful the choice was for him. Saving money to see Satoko smile, but he had to use it to make her sad. He used the money and disappeared to Tokyo. That's why Satoshi disappeared, right? I don't know. That's at least what Uishi thinks. I guess he dogged Satoshi's every step and drove him to a corner. There's enough circumstantial evidence, but I think your guess is wrong. There's this guy, a drug addict, who confessed the murderer. Yeah, Psycho confessed the murderer, and the case was closed. A general psycho who had nothing to do with Yumisawa. Of course he didn't know Satoshi. Satoshi didn't know him either. Hard to think a guy lied about a murder and sacrificed himself for Satoshi. Which isn't necessarily true. You never know how a person can be connected to another. If the psycho guy sacrificed himself for Satoshi, that means Satoshi did commit a perfect crime. But if he committed a perfect crime, there would be no reason for him to disappear. And I think Satoshi had no money to run away. Nobody believes me, but on that day he withdrew his money. The teddy bear he said he was going to buy was sold out and gone from the showcase. He must have bought it. So if he didn't use the money to run away and bought her the teddy bear, why didn't he go home? It's hard to think that he bought the teddy bear and disappeared without giving it to her. That's where I get lost. I understand if he disappeared with his money, but if he used it all, he had no money left. He couldn't have run away and lived alone without any money. That's what I don't get. And I don't get him now. Silence. I don't even remember how we started having this conversation. I'm sorry, I have no idea how we got off track. Pal Satoko, don't worry about it. I already asked her out. You did? When we were at the shrine today to help her out for the festival, we talked about taking Satoko with us. So we called her from the shrine. Her uncle didn't seem to like the idea, but he said okay. So we're gonna meet up somewhere. We're gonna go to the festival. You relieved now? Satoshi, don't be ridiculous. I'm not him. I'm relieved. She already asked her to go to the festival, and they're taking her out now because they need time to kill her uncle, like my bloody idea. Well, they're taking her out not because they need time to kill her uncle like my bloody idea. They honestly want her to have some fun. She's going to the festival regardless, but that little difference made me feel happy. Thanks. Guess I didn't need to ask you. Sorry I brought up those sensitive subjects. Forget about it. I'm sorry too. I got very emotional. Sorry. So we both apologized to each other for a while. I guess that's it. Have a good night. What's the thing you have to do tomorrow? She squeezed the questions in at the last minute. You can't tell me just like Satoshi couldn't? It's ridiculous. Didn't I tell you I'm not Satoshi? I know that. I tried to fudge my answer by answering her question with a question, so she didn't ask me further. Well, good night. No idea why you called me and asked me the same thing Satoshi did, but... sorry. Good night. Satoshi Holdo. Who the hell are you, really? I thought you were a coward who left your sister and ran. Until, yeah, you had no right to be called Nini. But now, I'm just not so sure. The curse of Oyashiro on the 4th year got to Satoko's aunt killed and him disappeared. I'm gonna carry the curse out on the 5th year. Then I find out the action I took the day before the festival is coincidentally the same as to what Satoshi did a year ago. If it was already beginning when her uncle started abusing Satoko, that means I've been doing the same thing Satoshi did for some days now. Mion called me Satoshi earlier. I might be him because she's the third person to get that impression of me. That means I'll succeed in the murder like he did. But this is the last point that I do the same thing. I'm more calm and a better planner than he was. The more passionate I get, the calmer I can be. So I'm not going to repeat his mistake. I'm going to make sure to erase her uncle from this world and bring back those old peaceful days. Since the time I chose Shantaisi's bat as my weapon, I've been following in his footsteps. Or maybe it started earlier than that. Since I decided to be her Nini, Satoshi might have been living within me. Were you really a coward? Or were you the Nini that Satoko still admires? I never met or talked to him. I don't even know what he looks like. But I never felt this close to anybody. Strange, isn't it? History repeats, even though we don't even know the history. It's an eerie thing, isn't it? Alright, July the 57th year Showa, Detective Division 1, Okinomiya Police, Section Manager, Narcotics Enforcement Headquarters. Nice. Let me open up a Coke. Lengthy. Appeared in a statement during the interrogation of a suspect who was arrested for the possession of narcotics suggests involvement in the above case. Statement involved information that only the culprit could know. We are obliged to hand out a statement copy to you. If the statement sounds reliable, it is highly possible that he is the culprit of the aforementioned case. The suspect died in a detention room. Strange. Let's continue. Sunday. I assumed the sound of fireworks I heard around noon was the start of the festival. It's cloudy, not a perfect day. TV weather report says it might even start raining cats and dogs. But as long as it's not raining now, the festival goes on. need the festival to start or I can't do anything. The premise of the Furude Shrine should be decorated gorgeously by now. Must be decorated with red and white curtains, probably lanterns. Must be the sound of power generators for street stalls. Must be laughter at kids running around, laughter at the parents who watch the kids laughing. The day of the festival. I wonder if the friends are already there enjoying it. Wonder how she's doing. Hope Satoko to take her mind off the hard days for a while and enjoy her time together. With a big smile on her face. It's gonna be the longest day of my life. I'll vividly remember it for the rest of my life. Parents are gonna enjoy their slow afternoon. They're going to the festival later in the evening. My parents and I are spending the same afternoon very differently, even though we all live in the same house. It just really surprises me. I gave them a contemptuous gaze as I head to the front door. I tie my shoelaces a little tighter than I usually do, as if to show my determination. I'm gonna take a quick little break. A little rest break. It won't be... you won't notice it. When I decided to plan a murder, it was in a state of hyper-excitability. It almost made me go crazy. When I planned the immortal act of committing murder, totally opposite of the spirit of goodwill I have cultivated through my life, I was so calm, it almost made me lose all affection. And yesterday, when I found out she made the same kind of phone call as I did, I was confused. I can't even express my feelings. But today, I don't have any of the feelings that I've had until yesterday. I feel like I just got up and my mind and emotions are still asleep. I don't feel the anger towards Satoko's uncle who had been abusing her. I don't feel pity for Satoko either. I don't feel frustrated towards my friends who just watched Satoko get hurt and didn't do anything to save her, and I don't feel nervous or frightened about what I'm going to do. That's right, the state I'm in right now is the best condition to commit a murder. I might need to allow my rage to take over the moment I commit the actual murder. But until that moment, I need to make calm, quiet movements for purpose, and jump on him as fast as a bullet, like insects to catch a prey. Insects have no emotions. There's a special kind of creepiness about them, but that's what I need. I'm gonna take care and kill Satoko's uncle like I would kill an insect. Kind of funny that I'm trying to have the heart of an insect, trying to kill him like one too. I tie in my shoelace again. I go outside. There's the shovel in the garage. I need this to dig a grave. It's made for camping purposes and it's very handy. I can break it down into 3 parts and put them in a bag. I just need to twist the joints and break it down. I've done this several times before, but somehow I had trouble with it. Feels like I became clumsy all of a sudden. Yeah, it's not because I'm nervous. There's a part of me that dwells deep in my heart is being daunted. Disassembling the shovel is the first step towards being a murderer. The last joint is tighter than the others, but I twist it really hard with the determination I have. It finally comes off. Satoko's house is outside my action radius. Some people might find suspicious if they saw me riding a bike around the area during the day. I want to avoid bumping into someone I know or being seen on my way there, so I have to choose the best route with a great deal of caution. I don't mind going along right around. I can't be too cautious. I'm lucky I didn't meet anybody on my way to the woods. I'm not superstitious, but it's a good sign. The place where I decided to dig a hole is deep in the woods. A little worried if I could get to the same place again without any signposts, but I got there no problem. I look around. No signs of presence. A bit humid, but a distinct cold air in the shade of the trees feels good. I take the parts of the shovel from my bag and assemble them. I stick the top of the shovel into the soft-looking ground and put my leg on it. As I push with my leg, the blade of the shovel goes deep. Sticking the shovel into the ground makes me feel it's the point of no return. It made me hesitant. I'm just digging a hole with the shovel, but I can't stop gasping. Calm down, my Ibarra. We're doing this together. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 2. I can't synchronize the timing, and even though it's just to stick the shovel in the ground, I ended up trying 5 times before I succeed. I'm just digging a hole. It's so pathetic. I put my heel on the shovel as if to stun my anxiety, and then it finally makes a crunchy sound. Huh? It's soft only on the surface. Since I started hitting the roots and stones, I realized how difficult it is to dig a hole big enough to bury someone. People usually don't come in a place like this. I can't just cover the body with dirt and it'll be enough. Every time a thought like that comes up in my mind, I clench my teeth and stick the shovel into the ground stronger and deeper. There we go. Should be big enough to hide a body. Every time I think so and get down into the hole, I get disappointed at how shallow it still is, and I keep digging. Forehead's getting sweaty. Soon big drops fall into the ground, one after another. My back is doing worse. My shirt is wet and sticking. It's uncomfortable. But more than that is the mosquitoes I can't stand. They smell the sweat from far away and they bite me one after another. It's hot. It's nasty. It's sticky. It's itchy. I'm distracted by my feelings of discomfort. Shit, so what? Are you telling me to turn around and go home now? Excuse me. Huh? I don't yell, I just mutter to myself as if to remind myself of determination. Why am I digging a hole in a place like this? What's the merit of digging this hole? The drawback of not digging a hole? Who gave me the order to dig a hole? Now that I think about it, I feel like my whole life has been an accumulation of things I've done by being ordered to do so. I'm not saying that I feel uncomfortable. I've lived my life being ordered around. I'm not saying I'm too lazy to seek my own path. It was like a road, in other words. I'm not physically superior, never have been. I grew up neither faster nor slower, and I wasn't taller or smaller. I've been pretty average records for marathon tournaments and jump rope events. I'm grouping for dodgeball games. No one fought hard to get me on the team even once. I don't have good memories of my kindergarten and elementary school because my value as a person depended on how fast I grew and whether I was physically superior or inferior to others. But everything changed on the day my mom told me something. Would like to go to a cram school. You'll be able to understand better at school, so you'll enjoy studying more. The first test I took at the cram school was like playing a game and it was fun. Tests at school usually had the same kind of boring questions, but the ones at the cram school had pictures for each questions, like riddle games on comic books. Studying at school wouldn't be fun if it was something like that. A few days later, I visited the cram school with my mother to do paperwork. Mom and teacher at the cram school talked for a long time, so I got sleepy towards the end. I wasn't really listening, but I still remembered my mom making a weird noise and looking surprised. You said 61 is the average test score? That's the average deviation score of all of our cram schools in Japan. The general intelligence test he took also shows a significant number. Your son is very smart. But he isn't getting good grades at school. He usually has a B minus, or a C. Must be some mistake. I also looked at the Krabbelin test and found out something interesting. He's very weak at questions that don't mean anything. He isn't interested in questions that are dry and tasteless and don't really connect to daily life. He's saying he isn't good at questions like 2 plus 3, but if it says how many you will have on your hand if you already have 2 apples and add 3 more? For example, he gets confused when the question tells him to write the development of a cube. But he can get the right answer if you ask him how it looks when he cuts a die and opens it up. The teacher showed my mom one of the tests I took. Manual tests, training test. Never had that kind of test before, so I still remember that it was fun. It's a question to draw the developmental view of icosahedron. But I asked him like this: how do you cut a piece of paper to make a 20-sided die? He drew this like it was nothing difficult to do. Not a lot of kids can do this. Have you ever made a 20-sided die before? They usually have 6 numbers. I never even thought about a die that I have more than 6 numbers until I took the test. It was fun for me to imagine how the dice would have looked if it had 20 numbers on it. I thought I'd never lose games anymore if I had dice like that, so I really wanted to make it. I started going to the cram school. 4 students in my class, and there were chosen ones like I was. It was the top of the class in the cram school. There were some of my classmates in the lower classes. I remember they'd done it before and they'd done better at dodgeball games and 50-meter dash, but I was starting to feel happy. A way to beat them that even though I thought it was physically I found out a way to beat them even though I was physically inferior. It was fun at first. The more I studied, the more people praised me, and it felt good when school teachers started to spoil me. My parents looked very happy too, and it was great to see them happy. The more I followed my parents' orders, the more fun it got. I remember those days. I smile wryly as if I'm laughing at myself, but a life of nothing but studying doesn't last that long. The better I got at studying, the more fun it got, but it was only for a short time. I stopped getting along with friends and stopped admiring teachers because the classmates were way behind what I already learned, and the way the teachers at school taught was incredibly boring. And people don't go easy on a kid who's snobbish about his intelligence. I followed orders and did more than they expected me to do, and they praised me for it. So I just kept doing it like pedaling a bike. I thought life was about going forward by riding that bike. It was when I moved to Himizawa that I noticed how sad such a life was. My parents decided to move and change their environment. He wanted to have a studio somewhere, take pictures several times before, and he liked it there. Before I knew what was happening, they decided to move here, and then I met my friends. My first day at the new school, I walked to my classroom with my teacher. I felt like a sissy for following the teacher into the classroom. So I opened the door before the teacher did, and I stepped in. I opened the door a bit powerfully, a reflection of my determination to start my life over again. But I received an unexpected welcome a second later. A blackboard eraser fell on my head and it had a big stone in it, and it hurt really bad too. Satoko already got me on my first day of school, and I freaked out. I was stumped by it. I was shocked when I saw my classroom too. It was just that it had students from all grades lumped together. It was the atmosphere that surprised me the most. It was completely different from the one schools usually have. The more time I spent with my friends, the more they surprised me. And they still do today. Every day is still full of surprises, and I never even had one boring day since I moved here. I enjoyed every day with the club mates, playing card games, Daifugo using our brains to the max, made such a racket. We joined a tournament that was held at a toy store in town and made a racket there. We did so many things together. And then there was the lunchbox tournament, when I noticed an unusual side of Satoko. We had dinner together only twice. Such a peaceful time, and I can still feel the warmth of it when I think about it. Satoko acts strong, but she's obediently waiting for the Nini to come back, and I promised myself that I'd be her Nini. She had a lousy mouth, but she was a good sister who took care of her good brother. It looked like she was bossing him around, but it was her way to depend on him. Satoshi and Satoko might have suffered under their uncle and aunt, but they must have enjoyed being together. When and how did those peaceful days disappear? I told myself many times that regretting won't do anything to erase the misfortune that already happened, but it can't be helped. That's why I chose this path, to bring back the old happy days, right? Nobody told me to do it, and I did it on my own. I didn't choose to do this. I wanted somebody to praise me for it. Nope, I did it all myself. I'm doing it right now. Not a road many parents or the world prepared for me. Not a road I can see the end of. It's dark, narrow, and uncertain. It could lead me everywhere. No place that I can't go. It's a limitless road. A road only one who can decide where he wants to go. Don't feel embarrassed to wander off that bright paved road. Be proud of yourself because you found your way. Doesn't mean that you're not going back to that paved road. After you finish your plan, you'll get back to the brightly paved road and you can have peaceful, ordinary days again. I stopped digging. The hole is already big and deep. Did I do this all myself? Should be enough. I put the shovel on the bottom of the hole. I'm going to drag the dead body here, throw it into the hole, and cover it with dirt. Even if I put grass over it to make blend with the surroundings, it'll be a lot easier and faster. I look at my watch. Sun's gonna set. I don't feel like it took so long, but it seems like it took long enough to make this decent hole. I sit down on a rock near the hole and wipe the sweat off of my forehead. The other things to do now is to wait until it gets dark and go get the metal bat I hid in the schoolyard. And make a phone call to lure him out. And then I'll execute him. Less and less steps to take to the final moment. Time must be flying fast. I don't have any hesitations, but I still feel as if the time is pushing me towards the final moment. There are times where I hesitate, get disturbed, and get nervous in the process of carrying out the plan. It's really hard to explain how difficult and torturing it is to resist the temptations and wait until the final moment to come. I thought I was a sissy, but I stopped thinking that way. It's okay, it's fine. Nothing wrong with being repulsed by the abnormal conduct that is murder, because I'm not going to be a psycho killer. I'm just going through an abnormal day in order to get back to the normal life I used to have. I wouldn't be able to have a normal life if I became a psycho killer that doesn't feel bad about killing a person. That's why I think this is okay. I don't have to be embarrassed that I feel odd about murdering him. I'm human. It's funny that I remind myself that I'm human while I'm trying to take over the curse of a deity. I heave a sigh and stand up. I stand dead still and sharpen my senses to hear the slight sound of movement. Good. I better get going one step at a time. I walk on the road I chose without anyone forcing me to take. Let's head out. The cry of cicadas are loud, but erases the suspicious sound of my steps on the twigs. The woods are filled with the cry of cicadas, and it tells me there is no one in the woods other than me. It sounds as if cicadas are blessing the road that I'm taking, cheering me on as much as they can. The sky is high. In a minute it will turn dark blue. It'll be filled with the cry of the cicadas. I wonder if everything will be settled by then. Will everything be over? I said the same thing when I let the public institution take care of Satoko. But this time it's different. I am going to do it. I will finish it. Everything will be over very soon. Everything will come to an end by the time they start crying. Nobody in the school is usually filled with the kids' cheerful voices. First time I ever seen the school empty like this. Yet I hold my breath and look around carefully. I can see clearer than usual even though it's getting dark. After I confirm that the coast is clear, I walk up to the construction machine where I hid the metal bat. For a moment I get worried that someone else might have found it and hid it somewhere else. If it really was the case, would I call it quits? If someone really took it? I feel the cold touch of metal. It's not gone. It's still there. Satoshi didn't run away. He's been waiting for me, just silently. Sorry to keep you waiting. So this is it. Are you ready? Through the metal touch, Satoshi smiles in my mind. That's what I was going to ask. I did it already last year. You should worry about it yourself. Bitchin', Satoshi. Let's do this. I feel like Satoshi's bat's gone a little lighter. It sticks to my palms rather well. Feels natural when I swing it. I can move it so naturally, I almost feel like it's like an extension of my right arm. No wonder I'm holding this bat with Satoshi together. I have to call up that guy next. Not a bad time. My friends might be having fun at the festival by now. I didn't think of a place to make the call from. My home and Satoko's are far. I won't make it if I call by house. Is it possible to call from school? Shit, it's locked. I can't get in. What an amateur. Should have known better. I can't make a call. So what'll it be for today for that reason? Sorry, Satoshi. When I cursing myself, a miracle happens. A bicycle coming into the school field. I've seen that middle-aged guy before. From the Forest Service. Is it Sunday? Did he come to pick up something he left behind? The guy puts his hand in his pocket and then unlocks the door and goes inside. Must be a miracle, Satoshi brought. A slight change in the metal mat's field tells me now it's the chance. The forge surface and the school are clearly partitioned. I guess the middle-aged guy is in the warehouse in the back, where the students aren't allowed to enter. The old warped door is left slightly open as if luring me in. I take a deep breath and I went in. I walk tiptoe and head to the teacher's office to not make any noise, the only place with a phone. While I hid in the teacher's office, I hear the guy's footsteps coming back. He closes the back door and locks it. I look out the window and feel he gets on his bike and rides. School becomes silent. I check if there really is nobody there and pick up the phone to the principal's desk. I take Satoko's home number out of my pocket. The number on the school phone directory belongs to the house. She lives with her uncle. I touch the dial and think for a moment about what I'm going to say if he answers, even though I practice it over and over. But at this moment, the words slip out of my head like water out of a bucket with holes. It should be simple, just sound plausible, isn't it? I count 3 heartbeats, then I dial. I hear the dial tone. Is he going to pick up? Deep inside, I still hope he won't answer, but if he doesn't, I can't save her. Hello? Must be him. Hello? Say your fucking name, idiot. What if I dialed the wrong number? I made up my mind. Here goes. This is Suspense City, Okinomi Police. Is this Hojo-san's residence? I already gone through to changing my voice, but do I sound believable? Is he gonna believe me? Yeah, this is Hojo. We have Satoko in our custody now. What? Satoko? Did she cause any trouble? Gotcha. I can tell if he believes me. We'll explain the details once you get here. Can you come over right away? Right now? I don't want to go out because I just took a bath. Come on. Yeah, right now. Right now? What did she do? I'll explain that when you get here. I'll be waiting for you, sir. Wait. I don't know where the police is. What's the location? Idiot, what the? The Okinomi police station? I don't know where it is either. Are you a fucking local? You should know that. I start sweating all over. When my voice gets stuck, he opens his mouth. Isn't it next to the firehouse? It's kind of far. He remembers it now. Good. I don't care where the police is, as long as you step out of the house. I'll be waiting for you then. Who should I ask for when I get there? What's your name? Are you asking for my name now? Just get the hell out of the house already. Maibashi. Excuse me. That was close. I almost told him my real name. I managed to get the last letters, though. I put the receiver down in a rush. My fingers shake and sweat is sticking to my clothes. Not only because of the call, it's the beginning. I step out of the school. The door has been locked, but it's easy to open from the inside. I can't lock it after I get out, though. To be safe, I wanted to lock it, but I can't lose time searching for the key in the teacher's office. I have to go back in a rush and ambush that guy now. I get on my bike to the spot as fast as I can. If Satoko's uncle comes to town quicker than me, everything's over. He'll find out there's no Maibashi at the Okinomi police station. Things will be complicated. On the way there, I saw some families wearing yukatas. Must be going to the festival. Even though I don't know them, they might know me. Well, Hinamizawa's pretty small after all. I'm pretty scared though, just to pass through people. But since this area isn't in my sphere of life, the people around here might not recognize me. Well, I gotta get back to the ambush spot and get prepared. I hid my bike in the bush and pick up Satoshi's bat. I hid behind a tree. I stiffen my breath and strain my senses. Has he come by? Has he possibly stepped out of the house right after the call and has already passed the street? I can't tell. I'm agitated. Calm down. Even if he did pass the street, he'll come back. All the same, he's gonna die here tonight. He'll probably come here on a moped. So how do I stop that? I'll keep it simple. I'll give him a blow or trip him when he passes by. It's growled. He'll fall anyway if I attack him with great strength. That moment, the Higurashi stops singing. I hear a moped. I don't know what kind of sound it makes, but I've seen his moped before. It's getting near. It's right there. A couple of seconds to catch him in my view over the bush. I have to verify it's him. In just a flash of a moment. And if it's him, I need to attack. There's the moped. The few distinctive features convince me it's definitely Satoko's uncle's moped. But is it really it? Is it really him? I'm not mistaken, right? I verified the vehicle one last time. Color, shape, and most of all the clothes. And face! I lose my hesitation now. Satoko Nini will end your pain now. Here it comes. And here we go. I pop out of the brush and attack him on the moped from my shoulder as brutally as possible. With a goofy cry, he loses control. In the space of a few seconds, the moped spins and falls. He's thrown to the ground. He doesn't seem to understand what happened. He's growing while lying on the ground. I'm breathing heavily. This state's not good. I feel some kind of chemical running through my brain, like I'm losing it. He's just lying there now. There's a chance I can't lose. What the shit am I doing? The world becomes silent. The confusion vanishes, and I feel my brain cooling down rapidly. The tension of my muscles go away like a broken stream. My arms go limp. I'm not feeling powerless. Did you calm down, my Abara? Do I have to go through what made me stand here right again? While taking firm steps on the gravel, I slowly walk up to Satoko's uncle. The more I get near, the calmer my breathing gets. The more I walk, the cooler my body becomes. That's right, he's lost the privilege to life. Because I'll be erasing it. He won't exist in this world anymore. If he lives on and Satoko continues to suffer, it'll be my responsibility for letting it happen. I feel like I'm chilled to my bones now. Right around my feet, he's still lying on the ground pathetically. I can't help smirking at his goofy look. It hurts. A little scratch. You don't know pain. What Satoko goes through. That's pain. You will pay for her pain with your life. Erase all unnecessary information in the brain. Murdering this guy is top priority. Execute him. I gave him a blow to the back of the head. I wanted to aim at the weak point while he's still off guard. He covers his head naturally. Automatic. He covers his head with both his arms so he can't put his body in a better position. Like smashing a worm, I hit him over and over. After crushing his head, I go for his flank. When he recoils his body, I wait for the back. When he stumbles around, I went for the legs, knees, his elbow. Doesn't matter where I hit him anymore. I'll just smash him over and over so he starts panicking. Even though I definitely have the advantage, I haven't been able to give him a fatal blow. He manages to stay up after stumbling for a while. He runs off like a startled hare. He's not doing that because he wants to see if he can fight back his enemy. He's just instinctively running. I have to be careful about his retaliation. He has an advantage in strength. It's not too bad even though I let him run. I even luck out. He runs into a bush, not to a street where he might find people. Very charming that he run to this direction. They usually run to geographically complex places, so they find narrow and small places. It's instinct. That's right. He quit being a human. He's a rat now. Broaden the veins on my legs, increase oxygen intake. While keeping the low ankle, I need explosive speed and power. While I held my breath, I run like the shadow of the wind. I jump over a brush, step over fallen branches, zipping through trees like a bullet. It doesn't take a blink of an eye to catch up with him to strike again. My whole body and mind are concentrating on killing this guy. This is the first time I've ever felt like this. After all, it's my first time experiencing murder. So it's natural everything feels new. If I'm not mistaken, I'm talented. In killing somebody, maybe it's just that I wasn't aware killing was this easy. I don't feel pain or exhaustion in chasing that pathetic guy. No matter where he goes, just like his shadow never leaves him, my shadow followed him closely. I easily hit his back, shoulder, or head, despite the unnatural posture. Every time I hit him, he groans, begs for life, but I felt nothing. I'm not hyped up, I'm not bothered by the hesitation I've been fighting until this day. I felt like I'm a predator. Of course, it looks like he's being an animal as well. Like a herbivore running for its life. After taking this many shots, he's still running on his feet with no problem. Admirable, he can run on this tangly ground without tripping. but I don't have to praise that. That's evidence he's an animal. He runs as if chased. He runs as if somebody's trying to kill him. He picks on the weak, but he can't fight back. Being worthless, puny little germ. That filthy creature hurt Satoko a lot. She's injured inside and out. Deep, ugly wounds. Some of them will probably never heal. My calmness gives way to beastliness. I turn into an absolute predator, thinking about only killing the prey. Heal! He screams when he hears my roar. While covering his head, he runs. Shit, how can you run for this long? Have it your way. I'm your death. You can choose me whenever you want to. You can stop running when your legs hurt, your lungs will run out of air, head aches from the lack of oxygen. You can stop whenever you feel those pains might be harsher to death. He can't even turn around. He's running away from his life. Such pathetic. He gets caught. He gets hit badly in his head with a metal bat, splashes sweat, saliva, and bleeds. His mouth labors in rough, unrhythmical breathing, producing a faint, high-pitched cry. He pleads for forgiveness for whoever hears it. This moment is given to you, is given for your atonement. Come on, keep running. Fall, groan, and die. What kind of a dump did you hatch from? You never existed. You shouldn't have emerged. If you haven't, the girls and I could have enjoyed ordinary days. The girls and I could have gone to the festival together, smiling. We'd be going around the booths by now. We'd be going by questionable booths, having fun at goldfish scooping, the shooting gallery. Beyond would have turned into a club activity. We'd be having fun. After that, we'd be watching Rika's ritual performance, rooting for her. We'd all be gaining power for tomorrow. It'd be a fun, funny, heartwarming time with my friends. But all that had to be broken to pieces when I had my guard down for a blink of an eye. I could have had that world if you hadn't showed up. You were heresy. You were a mistake. You were an obstruction of the world. I am going to correct this error. I'll race you along the past week. A night of the Watanagashi Festival. I'm allowed to kill one person in the name of Roya Shiro-sama's curse. I realize I don't hear the Higurashi anymore. When they cry, everything will be over. Then they stop crying. Alright, jerk, your time for atonement is over. Because the Higurashi stopped crying. It's over. End it. You don't have to run away anymore. Splatter your shitty brains and die. Thunder roared like an explosion. I even felt a quake, smelling of gunpowder. This head felt different. The bag cuts into the top of his head deeply, as though the head is caving in, biting into the bat. That's the hit I give him as the last blow, right when I see him powerlessly bend his knees. He falls onto his knees one by one, and his body falls to the ground face down. I've been holding my breath, but I started breathing heavily, finally. Head is spinning. I can't stand straight. I lean on a tree nearby. He didn't cover his head. His body twitches in a creepy way, and then stops moving. Did I finish him? Did I really do it? I feel like I'm crashing from exhaustion, but I killed desire, and I walk up to him carefully holding the bat. He could be playing dead. Should I check his pulse? But I realize I don't have time to do that. If I'm not sure, I can smash him as much as I want until he's surely dead. I take a deep, rough breath. I lift the bat in a large motion and swung it down. His body twitches, but he doesn't cover his head. I aimed once again and swung it down. Same reaction. I keep pounding his head for a while. Eventually the feel starts to change. No blackish red splashes. There's no doubt anymore. He's dead. I don't feel any sense of achievement or regret. There's no anger or pity for Satoko. I'm relishing this torrential rain. It comforts me. I don't know when it started. The rain drenches my whole body and drips to the ground. It cools my heated body, cleaning the mud on it. But my shoes are drenched. Satoshi's bat hasn't been worked much, even though I had to use it roughly. It had some dents, but I can't tell if they were made when I hit the guy or if they were originally there. It looked eerie, covered with blackish red blood, but it's proof. The evidence I murdered Satoko's uncle. Not my imagination, not a daydream. Alright, Keiichi, calm down. The heat is over. Ice cold time begins now. I've got to bury the body. Where the hell am I? I just chased him randomly. I have no idea how far I ran. It's completely dark outside. I can see some streetlights in the distance. Those are my only clue. I didn't realize it was this dark already. I didn't even notice the darkness until now. I could even see his distinguishing hairline and pores. Now I know how supernatural I was. I walk to the streetlight. I look ahead and back to find out where I am. The hell? This street is the only way to connect Higurashi and the town. I'm unbelievably far from Satoko's house. Did he and I run this far? It's a miracle that I didn't run into anybody along the way despite the noise we made. Very far from the hole I prepared near the ambush spot. I don't think I could carry the body there. His moped is still lying on the ground where I tipped him. That's not good. Police sees it, they can tell whose it is from the plate. Fortunately, the body is lying in this dark woods. I need to carry the body first, and I want to retrieve the shovel I put by the hole. I can't drag the body there, so I have to take care of it here. The heavy rain is making the ground muddy. I'll just dig a hole easily. More than anything, I left my bike there. It's not finished yet. The murder is only half of what I have to accomplish. The rest is equally as important as the first phase. I ought to hide the body completely so that nobody will notice anything. As if nothing happened, I will make that guy go away and get back to the old days. I bend back so I can relax more. The huge drops of rain pour on my face ruthlessly. Feels good. I want to stand here, like this, just for a while longer. After making sure my senses are sharp again, I started running in the rain. The moped was lying in the roadside brush, white with rain and mud cover. Looks as though it's been there for long. I plan to ditch the moped in the swamp. I have to walk for a while. I pull the moped upright. I wasn't expecting it to be this heavy. I'm a bit taken aback. But once it stands, I can easily push it thanks to the wheels. I still have to push this thing to the swamp. Can't ignore my exhaustion. The distance to the swamp reminds me of that. Can't I ride this? Once it starts, it's the same as a bicycle. It'll be quick to the swamp. It's a tighter projectile, even though I've never driven a moped before. I turn the key and step on. I think I this part. That's it. I got it. Now, which grip is it, left or right? Maybe I twisted it too much. The moped does a wheelie and gets out of control. I'm taking it back, but it's just about adjustment. Let's try one more time, real slow. Now, feels weird that I don't have to pedal, but I get used to it. Leon told me I could get a moped license in a day. I believe that now. This is just about adjustment. I have to get you back from the swamp too. I don't know how to mount it on the moped, so I stick it on my back like a ninja carries a sword. If I pull the top part of my pants and bend my back backward, it won't be falling easily. I get on a moped and once again, this time it's smooth. My head switch that says light and illuminates the road ahead brightly. I know I should use the light, but I don't think I can ride into this darkness. In the rain, I head to the swamp on a shaky ride. I pass some people along the way. They look like they're coming back. They're either rushing in home in the rain or hiding under umbrellas so nobody sees me. Until yesterday, I've been careful not to be seen by anybody, but I don't feel that way anymore. I should look confident that nobody will suspect me. I know I'm overconfident because I'm exhausted. It's a steep hill. If I was on my bike, I wouldn't be able to take it, but I can go smoothly with a mere twist of the accelerator. I see a sign in the moped's light for a moment. Only Fuji swamp, kids should stay away. Even though it says so, it's not as if the road to the swamp is blocked. Teachers and parents would scold me if they found I was here, but I heard from pranksters from the class who come to snatch big crawfish. They told me they get dried squid pieces from the store, put them on fishing rods, and threw them into the swamp and get tons of crawfish. On top of the hill, there's a small house of holy and a tree with a Shinto ornamental rope. I see the black swamp in the pouring rain. If I run the moped into it from the protruding part that's shaped like a cliff, the moped will dive into the center. Gotta be careful not to go with it. If I drown and vanish, it'll be a goofy horror story. Satoko's Gonzo body was found in the bushes and Mayabara Kei-chan went missing. Previously, he might have been deep in the way. Worst 5th year curse possible. I get off the moped and I twist the accelerator fully. I let it go and it almost pulled me forward. The moped dives in with a dark sound, and with a little splash, it sinks with bubbles. The water is muddy with heavy rain. I can't see the moped anymore. It's heavy. It must have sunk into the soft mud very fast. Gets deeper and deeper into the world of demons. I don't feel any regret for the moped, but I felt somewhat regretful to depart with Satoshi's bat. It's covered with sticky blood. I washed it with swamp water, and the blood washes off quickly. I want to store it somewhere as a reminder of tonight's event. Some place that can watch over Satoko. Putting it back to thy locker would be nice. Satoshi, I think I had a wrong idea about you. I must be listening quietly. I know it for sure. It was you who killed Satoko's aunt last year. I've been thinking you were a coward, but I guess I was wrong. People believe the culprit was a lunatic, but I know it was you. You vanished. Even though you got back your peace, you joined it for only a few days. I'll live up to your expectations. I'll forget about the past weekend, tonight, and live on. I'll never forget the time I spent with you, even though it was just short. I can't tell its expression, but I believe he's congratulating me with a smile as a buddy who saved the same girl. The next moment, my hands move automatically, and I throw the bat. It's dancing in the air. It draws a beautiful curve in the air without spinning, and lands on the swamp without a sound. It sinks without leaving a sign. The heavy rain washes away the ripple. For a moment I regret I did that, but maybe that's what Satoshi wanted. No, you're right. I don't have time to be this sentimental. I gotta get to pick up the shovel, get on my bike, dig a hole, and bury the body. Easy to say, but I have to finish all that within tonight. Satoshi warns me with his final words, and he shuts up forever, disappearing to the bottom of Fuji. I go back to the street where I ambushed Satoko's uncle. I lift my bike I hid in the bush. My body feels heavy, but I've got to finish all within tonight no matter what. I have to pick up the shovel too. No good, I'm spacing out. I feel like I nod off if I relax too much. Come on, my bar, it's not over yet. I go into the woods to find a hole I hid the shovel in, but I can't see anything. My dizzy mind is forced to wake up. I realize I'm in trouble. I start sweating again. There's no light in this dark forest. I didn't expect it to be this dark. It's questionable I could have buried the body even if I killed him here as I planned. What am I gonna do? I didn't think I could find a shovel now. If I go deeper into the woods, I might get lost. Even if I did, I might hurt my feet and tangled roots. There must be another storage and camping and storage at home. I can forget about the shovel, go for now, and go back to my house to get one. It doesn't have my name on it. My dad said it was rare one he bought from an import store. I don't want to leave it here, but there's nothing I can do in this darkness. I should go home now. Must be a battery powered lantern. I can use that. It might be too weak in this pitch black darkness. A lantern in the woods might attract people's attention. It's dubious I could find a shovel with that small light. I must know why I've been leaving the body there for too long. I've been too tired to think, but I finally start to realize the fear. For now, hiding the body is high priority. It's not too critical even if somebody finds the shovel, but it's different with the body. If it's found, I'll end up like Satoshi. I should go to my house, get a lantern, When it's dark, I might need a light when I dig a hole to bury the body. I should get another shovel too. I have to hurry the burial. After I finish that, I'll come back here to find a shovel. I'm tired, but I still have to do so much. I shouldn't complain. Everything would be wasted if I slack now. I'm sitting down. I clench my teeth and I get off my heavy butt. The night feels long. I never experienced a night this long before. I wonder when it's going to end. It feels very empty. If you like him, you're too heavy even to tell me why. Ah, fuck. The house light feels too bright. It suddenly reminds me of hunger. I look at my watch and it's almost 7. Thought it would be 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm surprised that my body clock gets messed up in the night. I see a warm light in the living room window. Separated by the window, the world inside and outside are too different. If the man hasn't shown up, I'd be in that light. I'd be talking to my parents about how fun and exciting the festival was. I wouldn't be able to eat dinner because I would have eaten too much at the stalls. I'd retreat to my room and crash my bed. But now I'm opposite. There's no warmth in the dim street lights. There's no warm family time, or dinner, or bed. Just standing in the cold rain, pushing myself to do all that I gotta do. I'm becoming servile. Why did I kill somebody while bearing this much pain? I'm starting to forget the reason. I executed the most quick and effective plan to save Satoko with no hesitation. That guy's dead. He's gone. He'll never hurt Satoko again. And one night I solved the problem while many days of brainstorming and debate yielded nothing. All by myself. No help from anybody. Satoko must be fearing that her uncle might come home any minute after fixing dinner for him. But he'll never return. He'll never hurt her with shouts or sadden her anymore. Yeah, I did it. I saved Satoko. I forgot about that because I've been the only guys upset with the idea of killing him. I did the right thing. Yep. I did something righteous. When warm tears flowed on my cheek and I realized my exhaustion has been caused by the guilt. The guilt even cut into my heart since it happened. It's aching. It hurts so bad I can't help crying. I cry because I'm glad I could save her. I don't know what I'm feeling anymore. I just can't stop the tears. While letting my tears go, I started to feel a bit relaxed. Alright, that's enough. Nothing to be ashamed of or to regret. I'm exhausted now. It's natural I can't feel anything. Maybe I won't be able to feel anything for the next few days. But there's one truth. I saved Satoko. I'll see the light. There'll come a day where I can be proud of what I did to retrieve Satoko's smile. To save that day, I have to be perfect. I had to perfect the job tonight. If I miss anything, it'll be nothing. I look up at the rainy sky. I close my eyes tightly to summon strength from deep within. How long am I going to space out? There's no time for this. Somebody might find a body any minute now. This negative feeling is proof that I'm getting back a natural sensation. Fear. Compelled by the fear, I enter the storage and look for a shovel and a lantern. Good thing I remember the looks of the streetlight near the body. There was a possibility I wouldn't be able to find a body in the darkness. I didn't think of remembering this spot when I left, so it was lucky I was able to find a place. The ground is almost like a puddle now. The body is soaking in the water. The water from the irrigation channel is overflowing because it's stuck with dead leaves and mud. I go into the puddle with no hesitation because my shoes have already been this soaked. The muddy water had cleaned everything. No bloodstains. The rain is a gift from the heavens. I look around and turn off the lantern just in case. I'm blinded for a while, but my eyes got used to the darkness. I can see my surroundings by the dim streetlight. I stick the shovel into the muddy ground right by the body. It's softer than I thought. It's very easy. I should hurry. If I take too much time, I might lose the will again. Digging a hole in the beach. Easy to shovel, but the muddy water keeps filling the hole as I dig. It's not going well. I can't tell how deep I'm digging because of the water. I need to get in the hole to check with my feet. It's good. Okay, don't give up. Keep digging. Just keep doing it. Sometimes cars pass us by. I hurriedly hide in the trees. I just go by. They didn't look in the darkness. I know that, but I can't keep hiding. What's more scary than the chance of being found is that I'm getting less sensitive to the presence of cars. I was able to detect them just by the sound of splashing water, but I didn't notice until I see the light. I'm losing acuteness. Maybe it's possible somebody's watching the whole thing without me realizing it. I look around carefully with my eyes wide open. I wake up on my senses to concentrate on the surroundings. What will I do if somebody's watching from behind a tree? The beastly instinct shows its fangs. If there's one, I'll have to dig another hole. I've come this far. To perfect a plan, I won't hesitate to risk anything. I don't know how my eyes look now, but it must be gleaming. There's no one. All the senses concluded. I don't exhale from relief. I wonder how long I've been digging, scraping out the water. It's knee-deep now. Maybe it's alright by now. I could try putting the body here to see if it's enough. I control my breath. After smashing him that badly, I'm still scared to touch any arm. I drag his legs. It isn't easy to move him. No wonder. By the look, he must weigh easily over 170 pounds. I drag him with all my strength. I just thought I no longer fear him, I start moving silently. The body perfectly fits the hole in the muddy water. There's enough depth. Let's bury him now, right away. It'll be all over when I finish this. After burying and hanging the body, I'll return to a normal life. The moment I realized that, I started feeling rushed. I gotta bury him sooner, he might revive. I put mud and dirt onto his body in a rush. If I'm slow, somebody might find me. A few minutes ago, I thought I'd kill if someone was watching, but I'm not that way anymore. If someone's really watching, this is over. I'm afraid of that now. I'm a mess now. I'm just pounding the ground to level it with a shovel. I'm covered in mud. The rain washes the mud off me, but it won't wash my clothes. It's now black. The agitation, fear, rain, sweat, and mud are messing me up. I throw the shovel away. I sit on the mud and breathe hard. I'm exhausted. I feel like crashing here right now. I'm done. This time I'm done for real. That guy's under the muddy ground. By now there are clear signs of digging and burying. The rain is running water. But this rain and running water will wash them away perfectly soon enough. It's over. I did it. Yeah, I fucking did it. I lie in the mud. The rain falls harshly in my face, but it doesn't bother me. I space for a while, then I sit up. It's over. I should go home. I buried everything. Everything's cool now. No reason for me to stay in this rain like this. I stand up slowly. I don't need a shovel anymore. I tried to break it apart, but I can't seem to figure out how because I'm too tired. It's alright. I don't have to take it apart. I dragged it while heading towards the light. I got my bike from the bush. The shovel is too big to fit in the bike's basket. Like the way I carry the bat, I stick it onto my back. The pointy edge kind of hurt my back, unlike the bat. I had to be careful not to bend over because of the fall. In the end, I carried it with my left hand. I control my bike with the other. The rain still falls hard on my exhausted body. On top of that, I'm riding with one hand. I wobbled like a drunk person. I don't care. Even so, I'll get home as I pedal on. I see two shots of light ahead. A car. No good. I'll have to avoid it. The car shows up from the darkness. The bright light catches me. When I hear a short honk, I realize I'm in the center of the road. I've got to avoid it. I know, but my body won't listen. I wobble. I go left and right. The car doesn't slow down as if they take it for granted that I'll avoid it. It keeps coming. To avoid it, I twist the bike's handle. Then I lose balance and fall. I hit the ground. One leg is under the bike. Not good. My body's forced to wake up. Cold sweat comes out of every pore. The car made a rapid left turn, skids counterclockwise and stops right in front of me. The door opens and the driver comes out. Probably gonna shout at me. What do you think you're doing? I didn't expect to see you here. A familiar woman's voice. I sit up. What do you know? It's Takano. Evening. It's a beautiful moon, isn't it? Hi, Abara. You can't see the moon in this torrential rain. And she says that while putting up her foldable umbrella, smiling at me. It gives me the creeps. She looks as though she sees through everything. I think that of all the people I could meet, I wanted to see her the least. What are you doing? You're drenched and covered in mud with no umbrella. What's that, a shovel? She just came here in the car. She should know what I was doing, but she smiles as though she knows something. She smiles like that all the time, though. Don't panic. Don't dig your own grave. I heard you went to a baseball match with a golf club. Is that shovel the same kind of thing? Instead of an umbrella? I should cover up somehow. If I can get through this, everything will be fine. I forgot this when I went to the dam construction site for treasure hunting with Rena. So you went to pick up this in the pouring rain? I didn't know it was going to rain when I stepped out the door. It's been raining for a while now. You must have been out for a long time. I've been roaming around. If you say so. We came from that direction. It's the opposite side of the dam, you know. She knows this is crazy. Having fun torturing me with words. Maybe she's figured out what I've been doing from the way things look. Why did I run into somebody so evil at a time like this? I'm out of luck. Everything I could. I'm this close to finishing. How can I run into this person in the last moment? So what are you gonna do? I have a shovel here. It could be a weapon. Silence Takano? Even if it is easy to kill her, disposing of her car would be a problem. I can't drive it. It's not as easy as a moped. Even if the car is left, there's no evidence I killed her. This murder will be just spontaneous. Unless I leave a handkerchief with my initial on it, nobody will know I did it. My black flame burning up inside of me. You look scary. Did I teach you too much? She starts laughing and ends the conversation. I'm still uncertain. How long are you going to stay on the ground with your bike? Can you move over? If I move over, she'll be gone. I put away my bike and try to stand up, then I twist my leg. Fuck! Ow. Acute pain in my leg. How stupid. I sprained my ankle. Are you alright? Did you sprain your ankle? She leans over and stares at me while I'm rubbing my injured leg. She looked at my face and checks how bad my injury could be. Can you stand up? Jeez. I can't. I turn and twist on the ground pathetically. She looks as her watching car and thinks a bit, and then opens the passenger door. She lets me lean on her shoulder. I'll drive you home. It looks bad on me because it looks like I hit you. Sorry. I feel it's bad to abandon here, you too. You should be thankful I'm a good person. Somebody calls herself a good person, it's never a good person. Of course, I can't say that because she's helping me. I get in the passenger seat with her help. She turns around and looks at my bike on the ground. Can you pick up your bike yourself later? From the look of her eyes, I can tell she doesn't want to put it in her car because the bike is dirty. But my name is on the bike, I can't leave it here. Can you load it in your car somehow? I kind of need it. The trunk's already full, I can't put it in the rear seat, it's gonna get dirty. You've already dirtied the passenger seat anyway. I turn around to the rear seat. There is a foldable bike there. Don't know whose it is. Still enough room for mine. I must be projecting my thoughts on my face clearly as she gets it. Alright, I'll do that for you. I'm being especially kind tonight. While griping all the while, she lets my bike in the back. I can take her gripes, but not the creepy giggles. Above all things, I can't leave this shovel here. The item I indicated clear connection between the body and me. Can we take the shovel too? The shovel? Oh, is it really that important? The more I talk, the more I'm cornered, so I avoid answering her question. She can't seem to take my silence. She shrugs and heaves a sigh. Alright, you need the shovel. Don't look at me like that. You scared me. She brings the shovel lying in the middle of the road. I hold it in my arms to not let it go. She looks at me with a skeptical... Oh, God. She looks at it with skeptical eyes. Your home is that Mayapara mansion, right? Why do people call my house that anyway? It's a mansion. I envy rich families. She releases the side brake and starts driving. Makes a U-turn and accelerates. I see the doomed place in the back mirror falling away. Sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say? She talks me soundly and I missed it. She repeats while looking ahead. Are you able to bury it now? I'm not startled. I'm just choking. What are you talking about? If you want to bury a body in the mountain like this, you need to dig really deep. A wild dog is definitely dig it up. A wild dog with a human bone in its mouth might make the police search the whole area. It's not that rare, you know. I feel dizzy. My head. I feel like a number of rusty bells are ringing. Can I bury the body deep enough perfectly? Probably no. Because the hesitation, I rushed the job and I might not have dug deep enough. Before that, why does this woman know? It just happens to pass by in a car. Just ran into me. It's important that she was watching the whole thing from a distance and left the side then got back in the car. Why? Or, you need to kill her after all. My body wakes up again. I feel the pupils of my eyes widen. I can't use the shovel in a small car. I'll strangle her with my bare hands. But she's driving. Might cause an accident. Takano suddenly looks at me. No laughing and clapping? I don't know what she was talking about. I don't think we have good chemistry. She looks grumpy and turns her head forward. I repeat what she said over and over in my head, and I finally realize it was a sick joke. I still don't know if she's serious or not. I don't think I get away with lying to her. I can't kill her while she's driving, and if we get to my house, it'd be too difficult to do so. First contact was the best opportunity after all. Shameful I missed this chance. She stops talking. Silence prevails. I'm choking. Why did I bump into this woman? I did everything else. Alright. I was just going home to get some sleep, and in the final moment I met an evil fate. My fear is washed away by sleepiness. It's really alright, my Ibaha. I probably shouldn't let this woman go. I'm just sleeping now. When she breaks, my body is squeezed against the seatbelt. It wakes me up. I dozed off again. Outside the window, a big house with lights on. My home, even though it's very dark. I'll get your parents now. Can you be by yourself for a second? Don't make fun of me. I'm alright. I'll walk by myself now, see? Oh well, you look painful and needed my help just now. Just wanted to snuggle my arms, maybe? She gets out of the car and puts up an umbrella. It's still raining heavily. I rub my ankle timidly. It hurts a bit, but not too bad. Instead of feeling grateful that the injury isn't bad, I felt regretful because if I hadn't sprained it, I could have killed her. She must be convinced that I was involved in some kind of crime. If she knew about what was going on, she might be able to guess who I killed. She opens the passenger door. You sure you don't need my shoulder? You can nuzzle if you want. I ignored it and get out. It's pouring. I get my bike out of the car. I wonder whose bike that other bike is, but I don't care. I push my bike to the entrance while Takano escorts me. Thanks, I'm fine now. My ankle still hurts a little, but it feels a lot better. Very unfortunate. I'll get going now. Don't tell anyone we went on a drive with just the two of us, alright? Especially Jiro. Jiro? Oh, Tomatake. She sometimes calls him Jiro. Tomatake Jiro. I recall the other bike in the back seat. Excuse me, you're from Miyazawa, are you? The day before yesterday, he talked to me while I was walking near the damn construction site after I overslept. I guess he was riding that bike. Isn't that bike in the backseat Tomatake's? I feel like her eyes looked keen for a moment. What makes you think so? I think I saw this bike before. Frame looked unique. I see. But isn't it a bit strange? Do you think it's possible that it's his? Strange? She sways her head elegantly and looked into my eyes. Because there are no hotels in Hinamizawa, that means Jiro is staying somewhere in town, right? Is that so? Well, this is true, I guess you're right. A long way from Hinamizawa to town, right? No bus either. You need a bike at least. Needless to say, that's why Tomataki was riding it. If Jiro's bike's in my car and he isn't here, strange, that means he's without his bike and eating Misawa, right? Impossible I had his bike without him, right? She looks as keen as an eagle's. But I don't get what's so strange. What's strange about that? You guys are friends, right? Isn't it natural that he asked you to carry his bike for some reason? You don't get it. Is it possible he and his bike are separate? For that reason, bike can't be Jiro's. You understand? I don't like the way she talks, but more than that, she gives me the creeps for a reason. My instinct tells me that I shouldn't be involved anymore. It's mine. Jiro picked it up from me. It just looks like his. Oh, I thought it looked similar. We didn't see each other tonight. Incongruent? What are you saying? We didn't see each other tonight. I don't know how to react. Then she repeats the same phrase one more time. We didn't see each other tonight. We didn't see each other tonight. Chills run down my spine. I just killed someone with my own hands. As I thought of killing her to shut her up, she was thinking the same. Instinct warned me again. I shouldn't have seen this woman. The smell isn't any different. It's gammy. An air about her that says she won't hesitate to kill someone on her own sake. Which I can't explain well, but I guess it makes her the same as me. Someone who shouldn't be here now. Who is not supposed to be here now. She didn't want to see anybody. She thinks nothing of killing another if it means she will have a perfect alibi. As much as I want to be untouched, she didn't want to be touched. She wants the same thing I do, didn't want to see me. We're both after the same thing. If so, her proposal is quite reasonable. I shouldn't turn it down. If that's what you want, I'm okay with it. We didn't see each other. That's right, I believe it's the best for you as well. You think? Don't be nosy. Why don't you figure that out by yourself, kiddo? She ends the conversation by using the harsh words. Doesn't seem quite appropriate to murder anybody right in front of the house. There's malice between her and me. I might be killed right here. I should have killed her when I saw her. Greasy sweat comes out of every pore. Alright, do it, whatever you want to. The moment I get ready, Takano turns around elegantly. You should be thankful I'm a kind person. What should I be thankful about? What does it mean if she's kind? I don't get it. She gets into her car without saying goodbye. Though I finished a great job of killing Satoko's uncle, I feel no satisfaction. One person's death is susceptible to name Roy Shiro's curse. A demon assigned by Roy Shiro has been roaming in this pouring rain. He wasn't supposed to meet another demon, yet he did by chance. The demons separate triumphantly. No reason to fight. They've already got what they wanted. In the rain-drenched car window, I catch Takano's eyes. The female demon smirks. It's too late to kill her now. Nothing I can do. I should have done it when I saw her. I realize it now. I should have killed her. After a short honk, she drives off in the pouring rain. The only woman who knows the truth disappears. As long as she lives, this night might never end. I hope she'd be in an accident. Her car might skid on mud in heavy rain, crash into a tree. She should die. It's not just my imagination. It's my wish and an order. To fuck off. To shut her up forever. I know you want the same. Despite my evil wish, the red light of her car vanishes into the darkness. I no longer see the light of her car. The sound of the rain dissipates the car sound. I turn around to finish the crazy night, open the door and entered. I walk. My shoes made a pitiful noise when I walk. Don't worry. She'll die. She'll meet the death that becomes her. She'll be burned alive until she turns to black ashes. burned with the flame of hell. She'll even have my share. I wish that. Seriously. I wasn't walking now, but I heard a footstep. I turn around with no emotion. If there's another footstep, that means there's somebody else. What if there's somebody there? Whoever it is, I don't want to deal with them. I'll kill them, whoever it is, and this time I won't hesitate. I'll turn around and dig another hole. But there was no one. So I don't have to kill anyone more tonight. Nothing bothers me anymore tonight. I heard another footstep whenever I stopped. Probably I'm just too tired. I should really go to sleep now. Flame of Hell, the 5th year victim. Well, somebody ended up being burned tonight. I wonder if it's her. Oh wait, despite us doing anything, I guess Takano and Tomitake still died. Just as I thought, it's Tomitake. Hell, just reading about a murder just makes me tired. I wonder if we're gonna get those days again.